All right, folks, it's your Pratt Pack. We're at the historic Beaver Falls Middle School Gymnasium, where practice is underway right now for Doug Villegas' 2015-2016 Beaver Falls Tigers. Some of the greatest athletes in the history of local basketball have played here. A lot of the Jeters that you know, and of course, people like Joe Namath, people like Oscar Jackson, people like Gary Gooseby, and some greats from some of the other schools as well. But we're going to go into the coaches' room right now and get a quick preview as far as this season is concerned. So come with me right now. And by the way, the reason we're here tonight is real simple. They're going to be a part of the C.J. Better's Holiday Classic. That's going to be happening at the CCBC Golden Dome on December 29th and 30th. And going into this year, the 24th year of that amazing tournament, Mr. Betters has upped the ante. He has given over $300,000 in scholarships for local athletes, and that's a good thing. We also always hope that you check out the Roxanne Betters Albanese Foundation. Coach Villegas, how are you?
Wonderful. How you doing? Good to see you again.
Good to see you too. 17 years this man has been here, and he's won state titles. He's won Whitfield titles. He's an Aliquippa native. My first question is, how can you have so much success and still be here? How come someone hasn't said, come with me, come with me?
Well, you know, I really enjoy where I am. I enjoy working with the kids still, and I'm still young. I'm going to be 45 in January, so that day may still come. It hasn't yet, but that day may come. I'm still young enough to make a change.
Listen, I have said this many times. He is one of the best young talents, and he is still young. I've loved what he has done in basketball for years, and obviously a little of that Aliquippa swagger has helped us a lot. And I want to thank Caden Cook for filming this wonderful video on that Samsung S5 phone. He's one of his many student athletes, and he's got 3 sophomores this year, 2 juniors this year, and another Jeter. Which Jeter is this?
This is Donovan Jeter, who's more of a football player than basketball, but he's still a pretty dominating force on the basketball floor when he wants to be, but football's his thing.
Tell me about playing in AAA this year and going up to 4A next year when the classification changes. But let's begin with this year and just kind of take us through the timeline.
Sure. Well, the process started last year. We decided as a AA school to voluntarily play up in AAA. We did very well. We went 14-0 in the section. We were within 1 second of winning the WPIL championship in AAA. This year we're trying to have a successful season as well. And next year, with the switches and classifications up to 6A, it's virtually the same section. 4A will kind of be like 3A this year, so it's just a natural transition to do that again.
What about playing in this wonderful basketball classic? It's kind of a throwback to some of the wonderful tournaments that used to really be huge, especially when the mills were booming. And you know all about Aliquippa, and of course here in Beaver Falls, which at one time had a number of steel mills and obviously world headquarters for all sorts of people. So it was a big deal after Christmas to watch these local kids play basketball. And in my opinion, other than what Mr. Betters has done, they really don't exist anymore. So this is a great venue, CCBC Golden Dome. You'll have teams like Lincoln Park there, and obviously Alderdice from the city is going to be there. It's going to be good basketball.
Yeah, and you know, I grew up maybe 100 yards from the Dome. I went to Center High School. The Dome was in my backyard. So we would always go watch they used to have playoff games back in the day in the Dome, and I used to enjoy going there and watching the playoff games in the Dome, so it does bring back a little bit of nostalgia to go back there and play.
Tell me, I keep mentioning about your connection to Aliquippa, and you have a major connection there.
Sure.
Tell me a little bit about why that place is so special to you, and they're getting ready to play for another state football championship this weekend at that wonderful stadium in Hershey. So tell me about Aliquippa.
Well, you know, most kids, when they grow up, they get to watch cartoons on Saturday mornings. My dad was an offensive line coach for Don Yanessa, so I was sitting on Coach Yanessa's lap in the field house watching game film at 4 and 5 years old. That was kind of where it all started. And then Jim Deep hired me on when I got my teaching job in Aliquippa in 1993. Jim Deep asked me to be a part of his staff. We won the state title in 1994. Coach Smianik, who has probably been the biggest influence on my coaching life, my coaching career as not just as a coach, but as an adult in general. I can't thank Coach Smianik enough for bringing me on with his staff, and then we won another state title in '97. I left there in '99. It was very hard to do, but you know, it was time for me to go out and do my own thing. And it makes me feel so proud to have come from Coach Smianik's tree when I watch what he continues to do on the football field.
Real quick before we close, one of the things that I noticed kind of getting into the gym tonight, a lot of parents, a lot of kids dribbling basketball, just that, you know, that noise that makes you just believe with the dribbling of basketballs and the trains in the background, the Larry Bruno Athletic Complex, that everybody just gets the history here. And you came just years after Coach Pavilski, the late coach, won himself a state title, and Frank Chan won one back in the 70s, and of course the whole history of Joe Namath and everything that this town is about. Did you ever think you'd have this much success? I'll be honest with you, I thought maybe you might dot the I, cross the T, win a few. But you have turned into, and I know that a lot of coaches don't like to use this word, but it is what it is. You've kind of become a dynasty as far as you're kind of what Midland was in the 60s. Beaver Falls is doing it right now because of you and your team.
Well, that means a great deal to me because I do realize the history, and I do realize the people that preceded me in this position. You know, when I got the job, we had 2 state titles. We now have 4. That means a great deal to me that I am a part of that legacy with Coach Bruno and Coach Podbilski. It's not something that's lost upon me. It's not something that I take very lightly, and I work very hard to make sure that I honor that legacy.
Listen, you know I care about you a lot and have much respect for you. Just continued success and enjoy this Chuck Better's Holiday Classic, okay?
Thank you. I'll see you there.
All right, there you go, folks. That's Doug Biega. Thanks to everyone here in Beaver Falls for letting us kind of slide into town and talk a little hoops. It's the C.J. Better's Holiday Classic, December 29th and 30th at the CCBC Dome. Have a good night.